That was really good. Here, are you ready? Hey everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Chow. Today we're going to be making my family favorite classic recipe, Chinese turnip cake. This is also called Lo Bak Gou, and I'm going to show you guys how to make that today. This is a dish that we typically eat during Lunar New Year, but honestly I eat it all times of the year, and it is my favorite dish to order at dim sum. And honestly, my grandma and my mom make the best version of this dish. So hopefully today I'm gonna share with you guys all the tricks and secrets that are passed down from the Chow generation onto you. Let's get started. So guys, what is Lo Bak Gou? Lo Bak Gou is a very common dish served at dim sum, and what it is turnip cake. It is the beautiful radish here that is shredded up, and then it's mixed with various ingredients. It is then steamed, and then it is cooled, and typically it is served by pan frying it afterwards and served with chili sauce or soy sauce, and it is so good. So for today's ingredients, what we're going to be using is minced garlic, 2 to 3 cloves of minced garlic, some Chinese sausage, 1 link of Chinese sausage that is diced up, and then we're going to add in some dried shrimp, some shiitake mushrooms, also some salt, brown sugar, a little bit of white pepper, some chicken bouillon, you know, my favorite, and some scallion, and of course, our radish. So what we're going to do is start off with our radish. Typically, this is sold at any Asian grocery market. And what we're going to do is we're going to shred it into beautiful strands so that as we steam it, it's actually going to melt. For the end, what I'm going to do is actually cut it up into small slices. And the reason for this is to help provide different sorts of texture and variety when we're taking bites of our Lo Bak Gou, and it is so good. We're going to add it into our bowl. So today I'm using about 900 grams of our white radish that I have shredded up nicely. But I'm going to teach you guys a trick today. So instead of having proper measurements, what we're going to do is we're going to follow a ratio. This is what we're going to do. You're going to calculate how much radish you have in grams. You're going to just take that, divide it in half, and that's how much water you will be using. And then for the rice flour, you're just going to take 20% of your radish, and that is how much rice flour you're going to be using. Make sense? Cool. Comment below if that didn't make sense, okay? And I'll try again for next time. So for some of the toppings, what we're going to be using is that dried shrimp that I'd mentioned, and also some shiitake mushroom. What you do is you're actually going to add some hot water in, and you're going to let it sit for probably 3 hours to overnight. So once you let it sit, it actually softens up like this, and the shrimp also softens as well. So I've already done that, and I've already pre-chopped it here. But let's talk about this juice. So this juice from marinating and softening up that mushroom and that shrimp is gold. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to save that liquid when we're cooking the radish, and we're going to add that in as well. So what we're going to do is add in that gold water, that juice that we have from the mushroom, from the shrimp, and we're going to add it into our rice flour like this. Grab your whisk, and we're going to mix it until it is super smooth. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to start on cooking the rest of the ingredients. Heat up our stove, and we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of some oil. Add in our Chinese sausage. Because there is sugar in the sausage, we want to make sure that our heat is low or to medium high, because we don't actually want to burn the sausage. So what we're going to do is render down the fat. Oh, it smells so good. You smell that? We're going to cook off our Chinese sausage for probably 30 seconds to a minute to help render down the fat. As you can see, a lot of that fat has already come out, and the flavor is coming out. You can smell it. It smells so good. Next, we're going to add in 2 to 3 cloves of our minced garlic. We just want a little bit of some nice color. And once that's been in for 30 seconds, we're going to add in our shiitake mushroom. And last but not least, our dried shrimp. As a kid, I remember going to Chinatown and smelling the barrels of dried shrimp. It smells so, so good. And then the owner would get mad at me for putting my head in it, but that's fine. We're gonna cook it together like this for another 30 seconds or so to help the shrimp become very aromatic. Okay, it's been 30 seconds. Now we're gonna add in our radish. So that shredded radish, we're gonna add in. Because the radish has a lot of water content, we actually don't need to add any more water here. So what we're going to do is add a lid on and we're going to steam it for 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, right on time. See, I told you, Tony, I don't need a timer. It just speaks to me. Now that we've let this cook for about 7 minutes, you can tell that the radish has wilted down nicely. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it down to low heat and we're going to slowly add in our rice flour and water mixture. We don't want to add too much at a time or else they actually won't combine nicely and we won't have a smooth finish at the end. So that's why we want to do it in parts. So add about 1 cup at a time, and then we're going to mix it together and we're going to slowly let it cook and get all nice and cozy. And as you start to mix it, you can feel that it gets thicker and thicker. So add in more now. Same thing, we're going to mix it up together. Okay, that's looking really good. Before I forget, we're going to season our dish. We're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of some white pepper. I love the fragrant flavor of white pepper, so we're going to add that in. Next, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of some salt. And we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. And 2 to 3 teaspoons of the good old chicken bouillon. And a little bit of some sesame oil. And mix that in together nicely so that it's combined. We're going to add in the rest of our rice flour water mixture. Carefully combine the rest of it together. So in every household, there's different ratios of how much rice flour and water they add in. So if you actually like it to be a little more softer, then you would add in probably 1/4 cup of water extra in this mixture. But for me, I find that this is the perfect ratio. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Once the mixture has been fully absorbed into the radish, we can turn off our heat and we're going to start on the next part. For a steaming dish, I'm actually going to be using my Pyrex dish here. If you don't want to use this, you can also use another baking dish or even a cake pan. So I'm going to add in a little bit of oil, probably 1 tablespoon, and we're just going to brush the sides. This ensures that the turnip cake won't stick to the sides once it's done steaming. And we also have our wok going, and we have a little metal tray. What is this thing called? What? It's called a riser. We have our wok going here. We have a riser and some water, and we're just going to heat up that water for the next one. Okay, so we're, okay, ow, my goodness, that is heavy. We're going to combine our mixture in to our steamer dish. See, I could do it at the very end. Combine that all in. Then we're going to flatten it out. And I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of some scallion. And then for a little bit of shine, just add in probably 1 teaspoon of some oil. Really add that in. And we're going to steam this for about 45 minutes. It's been 45 minutes and I think we're ready, so we're gonna check it out. I'm gonna see how it looks. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stick our knife in, and if it comes out pretty much clean, and there's no water in this little pool here, then it's done. We're good to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this in the fridge and we're going to let it cool down for 3 hours, or preferably overnight, until it fully sets, and then we're going to cut into it and we're going to fry it. Ooh, okay, so I've popped it out of the mold already, and as you can tell, it has set in the fridge. So for the next part, we're going to pan fry it. There are some people out there that actually just eat it as is, but I prefer the pan fried way, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm just heating up our nonstick pan. I'm going to put this onto the cutting board, and I think I'm going to cut it into probably 1-inch pieces is what I'm thinking. Add in a drizzle of some olive oil. To develop a really nice crust, we want to make sure that the pan is hot and the oil is hot. So we're going to let that heat up a little bit until it's nice and glossy and it runs ever so slightly. So we're going to start by frying in our pieces. And we're going to cook it on each side until golden brown, so probably about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so we're ready to flip them over. Ooh, baby, it's hot, very hot. And there we have it. Easy, delicious Chinese turnip cake right in the comfort of your own home. Oh my gosh, it smells absolutely amazing. I typically love to serve this either with soy sauce, or my personal favorite is actually my homemade chili oil. Yes, we are going to do a recipe for this, so stay tuned for that. I promise it is coming out soon. Let's try it out. Makes me feel like I'm at a dim sum restaurant. It's just so good. It is savory, it is comforting, it is soft but crunchy on the outside, and you can taste all the different flavors of the ingredients inside. This is absolutely delicious. Shout out to my grandma and my mother for passing on this recipe to me to also pass off to you guys. As always, thank you for joining in to another episode of Cooking with Chow. Don't forget to ring that notification bell because we drop videos every Saturday. And also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Ciao for now. Oh, you guys really didn't notice what's different with me today? So rude.
Me, just the lashes. She went lighter on the lashes.
Are you guys for real? You guys obviously don't love me.